Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. This week we're talking about 4 ways to keep your fire hot. It's spring. Spring in Ohio means softball, baseball, spring sports, of course, and yard cleanup. There's been lots of wind since winter ended here in Ohio, and that has led to about 5 billion small twigs in our yard. And the other day, I got to pick up those 5 billion twigs by bending over and doing that many squats, it seemed, or so my hamstrings thought the next day. Then I threw them into the fire pit, and that was where the fun began. We had a huge fire. No big logs, just a billion little twigs, little sticks. And boy, did that fire burn hot. And it got me thinking about how important the little things are to keeping us on track. We all search for that elusive big hit or the big win or whatever it might be. But what we know is this, is that big logs don't catch fire very easily. In fact, they have to have something else in there to help them ignite. Those are the little things. So those big things that we're all searching for put us on a path to looking at outcome mainly. So it seems like a good time in the season for spring sports, getting toward the end, for those of us sending our athletes home for the summer, getting them to think about the little things, or for those of us that work all year long, reminding us that it's the little things that make big things happen. So said John Wooden. So said our locker room wall at Akron. We all know that that's the case, but we still are looking for that big change, the big whatever it is, because we think that is what's going to lead us to success. So let's just remember 4 things or 4 ways that we can keep these little things helping us with our performance. Number 1, we need to make sure that we focus on the next step. When we look at the mountain, when we look at the whole practice plan or the conditioning plan or the whole week ahead, it seems overwhelming at times. But you know what's not overwhelming? The next step. If we just put our foot up on the next step and we straighten our leg out and get ourselves up to the next spot, that's not hard at all. So if we can keep things small and think about what's the next step I need to take, one little step, we start to build and move forward. And the next step adds up to the next step, to the next step, and all before we know it, we're at the end of the week, or before we know it, we're at the last sprint, or before we know it, we're at the end of the presentation, because we remembered what was coming next and we focused on that and that only. So that's number 1. Making sure that we're focusing on the next step, not the entirety of what's in front of us, the next step. Number 2, acknowledge small wins along the way. Whether we're winning or losing, this is important. If we're winning, it's really important to look at why we're winning. Because when we win, we have a tendency not to evaluate. What's a small win? Did we stay focused? Did we help the next guy be successful? Were we aggressive no matter what the outcome was? There's a million ways to measure small wins. Did we have a clean inning? Did we make a great pass? Maybe the pass didn't even get there, but we struck the ball well. These are all small wins that add up. And if we're winning, we need to follow them. We need to make sure that we're stacking them. And we need to make sure that we are seeing them for what they are, because they are what's making us move forward. This is where the well, better, how comes in, the wells of this. We need to know what's going well. We need to know why it's going well. That's vitally important, and we need to know what we're contributing to it. It's really important to know that these small little victories help the next one come along, because if we experience a small victory, we're more likely to experience a victory in the next step, whatever victory looks like at the moment. If we're not winning, it's even more important to stack these things up. What's going well? We can play really well and lose. We can play really we can win and play really crappy. But if we can start to stack the things that we're controlling the things that we are giving the proper effort in, the things that we're giving the proper focus to, if we start to stack those things up, that starts to build confidence. Because maybe we don't have something to fall back and say, oh, we win, this is what we do. But if we win somewhere along the way, we win. And that builds confidence. And that's really, really important to helping us get closer to our goals. We start to believe that the process is moving us toward our goal, whatever that goal is, whether it's to win the game or make improvements in whatever way. But stacking the wells, if we're winning and if we're not winning, makes a difference. As Kobe Bryant said, as he talked to Lewis Howes in a podcast, he said, losing is exciting, said by only people who win, right? But what he was saying is that when we win or lose, we evaluate the same way. We need to know what's going well. Obviously, we need to know what we need to do better. And looking for these small wins doesn't say, oh, it's no big deal that we're doing things wrong. No, it's reminding ourselves that even when we're doing things wrong, there may have been something that we did right. And if we make this small adjustment, maybe that'll make a difference in the outcome. So stacking up the wells is important, looking for the small wins. Number 3, we want to make sure that we are reliving those small wins. We're all looking for the big win, obviously, whatever that means to us, but the small wins, if we can relive them, we start to benefit from that emotion. Tony Robbins says, we are what we stack. He learned to stack positive memories, positive experiences, and he got a huge benefit from that longer than he thought he would. He said, just having experience isn't enough. Reliving those so that we appreciate them makes all the difference in the world. We want to make sure that we are stacking the good so we appreciate it. Reliving the good so we appreciate it. Author Jason Selk in his book, it's called Executive Toughness, says the same. Recalling a past performance in the present allows us to relive this full range of emotions that we experienced when we performed the feat at the time. So when we relive those little things, when we relive the big things, whatever you can choose, but reliving the little thing that we did well sparks that emotion in us. It reminds us of how we want to feel, how we want to act. It primes our brain and our body to do it again. So reliving the small wins is very important. And then number 4, making small adjustments. We overcorrect this way and we end up in the ditch on the other side. That's how we normally adjust. We throw the ball low, so all of a sudden we want to change our snap and then we throw it high because we make adjustments that are too big. We need to make adjustments in small increments because normally it's a really small difference between success and not. So how can we make small adjustments? What can we do? What's that one little thing that we can do? One little thing that we can do that's going to make a difference in the outcome. Maybe it's controlling our breath. Maybe it's controlling our focus. Maybe it's taking one step up. Maybe it's doing the most subtle thing that adjusts the angle of whatever it is that we're doing. But remembering that most things need minor adjustments, not a major, oh my gosh, I've got to start over. This is horrible. I've got to take a new approach. I've got to take a different bat. I've got to, change my shot, whatever it is. No. You've been working and working and working on this skill. What's the minor adjustment? And most of the time, it's not mechanical. Most of the time, the mistake happens before the mistake happens. The mistake happens in our focus, in our approach, or in our response to the result that we got before. So what's that minor adjustment, that small adjustment that you can make that's going to set you on course to be consistent? Maybe it's just asking a question. Maybe it's just following the seams. It could be something so simple. But do you remember the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff? And it's all small stuff. We could rewrite that title. Focus on the small stuff, and your fire will burn hot for a long time. Because it's that small stuff that really gets the fire burning. And if we can remember that what we focus on enlarges, everything is small stuff. The big things are what we search for. But what we focus on enlarges, and if we can stay focused on those small things, we are going to find ourselves with a really, really hot fire. So as you go through the week, what's the small stuff that you need to be focused on? How can you relive the small wins? How can you find the small wins? How can you just take that next step? And what little adjustment is it that really needs to be made? Not the major shift. Because major shifts don't come all that often. In fact, major shifts happen in one little movement. The earthquake doesn't happen all of a sudden. It's because those plates have been shifting ever so slightly for a really long time. And then, boom. It's not the big hit that really changes the game. Yeah, sure, it changes the game. But it's the million little things you did before that that allowed you to reap the benefits of the big hit. Because a big hit with crappy defense ahead of it doesn't mean much. Because you've given up too many runs. It's those little things that allow you to reap the benefit of that specific hit or that specific shift that make the difference. So as you go through the week, I encourage you to keep things small and keep your fire burning hot. And until next week, have a great week.